All right, and welcome to the first ever episode of Scoops at Sorcery. My name is Joe, and this is Sean, and we're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves.
Hey guys, I'm Sean. I am the events and community manager here at Greg's Games in Hamilton, New Jersey. I've been working in the card retail industry for about 10 years now, and I've been playing Magic since Arabian Nights because I am a sucker for good marketing and high fantasy.
It was a cool set, though.
Oh, God, it really
swords
was.
and Aladdins and carpets.
I was, very young, but I didn't care. It was so cool.
Well, I mean, at that age, though, you don't really think about it, do you?
No, I was just like, what does this do? This is a mountain!
It's true. I mean, you didn't really have too many things going on in those sets back then, though, didn't they?
I mean, like Aladdin had come out, so I knew that stuff.
Well, yeah, of course, but I mean, as a kid, you're not really thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we digress anyway.
Yeah.
My name's Joe. I've been playing Magic since the early 90s, I guess. Probably onslaught and starter set 99, so I guess between that 96 through 99 area. I've been always playing Magic off and on. I always hop in and hop out at random times, just depending on what's going on and what I feel. I've been playing, I guess, most recently now for, I guess, a very solid 7 years, and that's since the Commander format came out. And, you know, I think that's the most played format that we have in Magic at the moment. But, again, we digress on that. Today, we are currently sitting at Greg's Games.
My home base, literally.
Yeah, it's true. We're in Hamilton, New Jersey, you said?
Hamilton, New Jersey, just outside of Trenton.
Okay.
Nice, quiet suburb.
Okay, I live in Levittown. And we have
Yes.
a few shops out there. And from Levittown, it's about a 25-minute ride. No tolls, too, so you could take the Trenton Makes Bridge. I know that, if you want to spend more money on Magic as opposed to, spending money on tolls.
Yeah.
Definitely helps you out. But, yeah, I think what we're going to be trying to do is, our mission statement, more or less, is we're going to be going shop to shop, weather permitting, time permitting, Corona permitting.
Oof, yeah.
I want to just see what they got going on there and let you, the player base, know what's out there and what options you have when you play Magic. There's no reason not to check these shops out, and I think it does everybody good from just, sharing
it really
the love.
does, yeah. And for those concerned about social distancing and masks, I would love to assure you we are recording this episode after my store is closed. Joe and I, while we are unmasked to communicate effectively with you, we are completely alone in the building. The doors are locked, and, well, everything's nice and bleached and clean. I'm healthy.
Fair. Yeah, I'm as healthy as I can be.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
But yeah, so we do have a few topics that we definitely want to start with you guys tonight. Definitely some hot topics, some hot takes. The first one is definitely going to be The Walking Dead and everything that's happening with that right now. Some of us are for it and some of us are against it, but what can you do?
I'll tell you what you can do. You cannot buy it.
Not buy it.
You cannot buy it. I'm going to come out of the gate strongly against The Walking Dead.
But why? There's nothing wrong with it. WotC will do what they want.
Yes, WotC will do what they want. But as a company, they've said repeatedly up to this point that they weren't going to do what they did.
Sure.
They've said it repeatedly. They put out a product so skewed against the way Magic is printed.
Okay.
Magic, very firmly high fantasy. And while I'm not opposed to doing something different, I'm not. Using licensed branded characters in the fashion that they did is very off flavor.
But they're not real characters. Wouldn't it be a little bit of a difference if Glenn was like your buddy that lived down the road? I
mean, I guess that's a fair point, but I'm hung up on this fact that this is not an MTG aesthetic, and it's not an aesthetic they came up with themselves.
Sure.
It is. Quite frankly, it is a financial deal that Wizards of the Coast made with. Or I'm gonna be fair, and this is something I keep insisting to people. Hasbro did this. This is not.
It's all Hasbro.
I don't think this is necessarily a Wizards of the Coast move. I think this is a Hasbro move.
Sure.
But
Wizards had to sanction it.
Oh, Wizards had. Well,
Hasbro came down the pipeline and was like, "Yo, we got an idea. It involves some zombies, some bats.
Not zombies. Not
zombies. I'm getting zombie tokens.
No, you're not. You're getting Walker tokens. Do you know why they're Walker tokens, Joe?
Are they licensed?
That is exactly why. The Walking Dead, and this is something I've had to watch a couple of episodes, because in all fairness, I read the comics. I never really watched the shows. Sure. I missed that. They call them walkers on the show specifically because they wanted something that they could license and brand, and you cannot do that to the word zombie.
Got it.
That is why your tokens are walker tokens, not zombie tokens.
But specifically on a few of the cards, it says zombies, correct? I believe it's the red-green one.
No, I think he
kills whenever a zombie dies.
Yes, he says whenever a zombie dies. Well, your walker tokens are zombie type.
Yes, no, I'm not saying, I'm not disparaging that. I'm just saying, just kind of. I don't know.
I think it's just to give him a little playability outside of just the Walking Dead box of cards.
Sure.
And that's another problem that I have with these cards, because if they were bad, if they were dumb, and if it was just something you could throw in a box and have as a collectible, I'd be like, okay, whatever. Nobody wants this. The white card, Rick, I don't know his proper title, and I apologize. He just top forward a big legacy tournament. 5-0'd a legacy tournament. That's dumb.
So is it their fault for playing Rick, or is it the person's fault that played against the Rick that didn't have the removal? Is it their fault?
Oh, you can't blame a person for not having removal in a game of variance.
But don't you think, though, that they will be prepared for that? Everyone knowing and being in such an uproar. How could you
possibly prepare for a character from a television show? That's like saying, Joe, we're going to play Commander this weekend, and we're playing, and Harry Potter rolls out, and you're just like, what? Like, are you ready? Are you ready for Harry Potter?
Is it not?
That's a rumor. That is a rumor that because Wizards of the Coast did come out and say that there will be more of these like tie-in branded promotions.
Yeah, and everyone's speculating Doctor Who, Harry Potter.
Well, it's a nerdy wet dream. If you forgive the expression.
And I'm not this is where I guess this is where I'm into this. I like it. I see nothing wrong with it. The secret lairs, as they are just another fluff thing that Wizards put out. And it's just made for the fat cats and the big wigs and everybody who wants to bling out a deck. That's all it is.
And that's fair. And I would agree with you 100% if they had printed these cards in any of the other established way they do, like the Godzilla cards.
Sure.
If they had
I keep hearing this Godzilla stuff.
If they had made Rick in a Godzilla flavor, even if it was Rick, the mono white human lord, whatever you want to call him, and under his little box is a card that doesn't even exist in print yet. Like I saw on Reddit, somebody had made a mock-up where it was King Kenrith and his wife. And the card doesn't exist yet, but Wizards would have had an out saying, here's Rick. Rick will be something else later.
Can't they still do that?
No.
Because it's not on the card.
No, it's not. It's conceivably knowing
they
Wizards.
They can't get out of that though. They can't put out. I guess they Master could. Tactician.
Well, I don't think they would do it as an. I don't think they would do it as a card that exists. I think that.
No, I'm not saying I apologize. I'm saying it would be new. Yeah, it'll be like a new Odric, and he does whatever Rick does now.
I mean,
and that's just a little flavor line.
It's an out.
Yeah,
it's an out. They could, or it's not too late. Silver border it. If they silver border it, isn't.
I'm pretty sure
they said they were printing it after the ordering window was done.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't really trust them on that.
That's fair.
But I mean, at the same time, I'd like it. I think it's nifty. I don't know. I agree.
It's nifty.
I agree that I can understand why people are upset with it.
Okay.
But don't buy it then. Don't buy it.
That's fair.
And you also don't really need to keep making up all these fake new Commander formats to show you're upset. That's kind of silly.
Don't get me started on Captain. That was ridiculous. It was a satirical video that a bunch of people took, I think, a little too far.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm just going to keep playing Commander. I enjoy Commander. Ultimately, if Wizards of the Coast comes down and says nobody's allowed to play Commander anymore, I'm still going to roll in here on Thursdays and play with you.
Of course. Well, isn't that the zero rule? Isn't it like zero
rule? Rule zero. You're playing in a community game to have fun with your friends.
Exactly. Well, and then you also do the stipulations. What power level are you playing?
Yeah.
What can I play? Do you have proxies in your deck? Yada yada yada. Yeah. I mean, I understand that. It's all the social contract. There's nothing wrong with that. I like it. I encourage it. There's nothing wrong with it.
No, absolutely not.
And I still just don't think there's anything wrong with The Walking Dead. I understand where everyone's coming from. I'm not a fan of the show. I don't really care for the show. I watched a few seasons.
You should read the comics. The comics
I always heard the comics were good.
Okay.
But at in the same breath, literally, it's just, I don't know. It just don't buy it. Don't buy it and don't feed into it, because WotC's always going to do what they want to do at the end of the day. They sold $400 Secret Lairs with 5 fetch lands in it. And how many people bought it?
I don't even know, but
enough to make it exist.
Yeah.
The moment they put something out, what was it? Throne of Eldraine. Throne of Eldraine came out with a $400 collector's box that had nothing in it but a binder.
Yeah.
A binder. You paid $400 for a binder and a stupid-looking guy. Not you, but the general population. Don't you think that the Magic population should then band together and instead of complaining on Reddit and Discord, stop buying the product and increasing those sales to make them not buy it?
That would absolutely work if the entire Magic community could get on the same page. Unfortunately, they can't.
Yeah, but they're on the same page
because
to complain about it.
Here's the thing. Let's say you and I will get together and say, we're not buying this product.
Sure.
$100 Wizards of the Coast doesn't get. Those 2 boxes of the Walking Dead Secret Lair will instantly get sold to an investor or a speculator who wants to throw it in his closet and sell it online 2 years from now when it's $150. Because
let it be known, I bought it. I shilled out the $50.
You are a terrible person,
That's
and
fine.
I 100% also bought it. And I'd like to formally apologize. I personally collect legendary creatures. I have 3 big binders. I almost have every single one that exists. I even collect the banned ones, the unhinged ones, and in order to keep my collection full.
See, but that's your prerogative.
It is.
And Wizards at the same time is not going to think that way. They're going to think Joe Schmo in random state A is going to buy it.
They don't care who buys it.
Nope.
They just want it bought.
And they got it.
Yep.
They're getting it.
100%.
And other people see the exclusivity of it. There's a week. It's out for a week.
Yeah.
It's still out right now.
Sales close, I think,
Sunday.
tomorrow. Sunday, is it?
7 days.
Yeah,
7 days from Sunday.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but you can't be upset like, oh, I missed my window, darn it.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like,
if
dude, you had a week.
You got it, yeah.
I understand that the smaller ones that are like out for a day, 12 hours, whatever,
yeah.
is like, if you miss it, you miss it. But even on the secondary market, which exists.
Yeah, it exists. Trust me, I know.
This is true. And the secondary market, we know for a fact it's going to be on there. It's going to be at a reduced price because it's so overprinted. And because oh, hell yeah.
You see, the secondary market also requires those cards to start flowing into and out of it. I don't think shops are going to buy these just to open them necessarily.
No, but I think shops are going to take them. If somebody bought them, they get rid of them. Like, I know for a fact.
Well, they will now if Rick is 4-0-5-0ing Legacy Leagues.
I know for a fact that right now online, I wanted to get, like, let's say I got the Baleful Strix, right? The cool looking bird.
Yeah, the Audubon Society.
Okay, that's online for $6 right now.
Yep.
I know that the E-Witness is 9, and I know that, oh, Jesus, the other one, the Blood Artist.
It's really cute that we're doing this, and it would be fun a year from now to go back and rewatch this episode and be like, do you remember when that was $6?
But, like, things like that. That's what I'm saying. And I could buy it in that secret lair for $60 or $50 or whatever the price is.
Or you could just buy the one card you want.
Exactly.
And
why would I never not do that?
I personally have no beef with secret layers up to this point.
I know. It's their choice.
Some of them are cool. Like, as a person who collects legendary creatures, I was really interested in Theros Stargazing, the International Women's Day.
Yeah.
Other than that, I haven't really been excited. I ordered the Zendikar one because all of the cards in that I run in decks, and I'm like, I love that showcase.
But see, that was the thing. That was their gimmick.
Don't need it.
No.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
I think the Women's Day one was the best, though.
You think so?
Hands down.
Okay.
There was no downside to it.
No,
Aruna, really Marin,
all the cards.
Captain Sisse.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck's her name? The 4-colored chick, Saskia.
I like Saskia.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those cards were just so quality. I literally missed one. I'm sure someone in the comments will be pissed about that.
I mean, it's YouTube. That's the nature of the comments section.
This is fair. But just looking at it, and I appreciate it if it was for a good cause.
Yeah.
Thought that was awesome, too.
Yeah.
I think Wizards should do more things like that. Even if
I
it's
was
fake.
hoping for one for Pride Month, honestly.
I mean, that's doable.
Wizards is definitely accumulating a lot of LGBTQIA characters within their canon. You've got Kaneo Santiro, you've got Alesha, you've got Nissa and Chandra at this point. I know I'm missing a couple, Tomic and Rel Zarek.
Yeah.
I know I'm missing more. I usually keep a tab on them because I know it's a topic of conversation.
But it's important, though. It's very important. There's
you could very easily get those guys.
Sure.
They would have to put Terramander in there. I would want Terramander. Justice. Terramander says trans rights.
This is true.
Okay.
But I know, like, with The Walking Dead and everything, I mean, like, it's a great concept, whether it be good or bad. I mean, it's got magical buzz, right? Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, we could definitely agree on that.
Yeah, it's something to talk about.
I agree. The next thing that I'm kind of upset about, and I wish there was more that we could indulge in, the Commander set, like the green one.
The Commander Collection Green.
Yes, I think it's a wonderful concept. Make all those prices go down, but the availability of it is BS, and I think that sucks.
And I agree with you on this. And I can tell you, as a person that's in game and hobby retail, where a large portion of our business is Magic the Gathering related, I can tell you it's a problem.
It is 100%.
It's a huge problem because there are not enough of these out there to satisfy the desire. It's not like the spell books. I think that the signature spell books are great, and if they had run this like a signature spell book and maybe made the foil ones are a little harder.
I thought the whole inspiration of it was the signature spell
books. Well, the inspiration is that, but the distribution is not. And that's the problem.
And there's literally still spell books sitting on your guys' shelves, and they're full of chaff. I'll be the first one to tell you that. There's maybe 1 or 2 good cards in the spell books.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
It is. No, it is. I mean, what am I going to get? I'm going to get Rest in Peace in the white one. I'm going to get a Pyroblast in the red one, and I'm going to get Mystical Tutor in the blue one.
So you're getting, like, Mystical Tutor, first of all, is a great card.
True.
Pyroblast is a good card.
Okay.
Rest in Peace, as a graveyard player, I hate it.
Sure.
But you're ignoring the other 9.
Playable.
Yeah, but okay. So any pack you open, do you expect every card to be playable?
I want at least one playable.
Okay. I can guarantee you that I can get each of the spell books at this point, and I can point out one playable card in each one minimum. And if you're saying Mystical,
I just said that.
Okay.
We agreed on that. That's what I'm saying. There's at least one good playable.
Okay.
But I know that in those decks are cards that are not playable in Commander.
That's fair.
Yes.
Yes.
Not like I'm saying, like they're banned in Commander.
Rite of Flame isn't banned in Commander, but if you're playing Rite of Flame in Commander, you're missing the point.
Correct. But I just don't think they're strong.
Fair.
You know what I mean? I understand that it's like an ode to Jace, an ode to Chandra, and an ode to Gideon.
You mean an ode?
Ode?
ODE? It's an ode.
I thought it was ode with the umlaut.
No.
No umlaut?
It's just ODE. No. There's no umlaut. It's not bold. It's a word.
Whatever. Either way.
But Commander Collection Green. The problem is
the value alone inside of it is staggering.
Even if you don't care about the value, if it had been distributed,
you should. It's still an investment at the end of the day.
It's not.
Why?
It's toys.
Do you not trade?
I trade, but I trade very much the way you and I trade, where it's like, I want this card. Okay.
No, but I know that. See,
and that's fine. Some people trade cards and they play with their toys.
Sure.
My problem is, and I've noticed as people are purchasing this item, they're purchasing it to keep it sealed in a box to possibly resell it later.
I hate that.
That's my problem. But because the distribution on this is so limited, there's not enough. I couldn't get one for myself.
I barely got one the other day. Barely got one.
I couldn't get one, and I run a lot of the Magic out of this shop. I could not get one. I walked into the door, and my boss was like, "We are somehow sold out. It's been half an hour."
Actually, I lied. I could have got it. I was here that day.
Oh, yeah.
I had the option, and I was like, "No, I'll just buy that thing in the shop."
No. And don't get me started on the foil ones.
Oh,
you know how many?
There's unicorns. That's a unicorn.
The only way you could get the foil versions of the Commander Collection Green is if your store is Wizards Premium. There is one store, to my knowledge, in the state of New Jersey that is. That store is Bearded Dragon. That store is great. Go hang out with Liz. She's awesome. Her store is very good. Absolutely deserves Wizards Premium.
We will hopefully be visiting them soon.
We should. But that having been said, do you know how many game stores there are in Jersey? Way more than one.
See, and I think that's nuts.
That is.
And I think, what is it? I paid $60 for mine.
For non-foil.
For non-foil.
Okay.
And I expected that.
Yeah.
The shop itself that I bought it at, Stomping Grounds.
Definitely got to go there.
Yeah, we'll have to go there. But, you know, Nick, the guy who runs the place, said it the other day, and I was like, sure, I will pre-order it.
Yeah.
$60 is fair. I know it's being sold for $50, but I know that if I'm getting it, I have to pay the extra premium. And it sucks because MSRP doesn't exist, and that's a whole nother debacle.
Yeah, it is. Oh,
but
it is.
What the hell can I do? You know what I mean? Like, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, I know Sylvan Library is still $70 right now.
Yep.
And for the $60 I'm paying for it, Sylvan Library covers the whole thing.
Yeah, and you're getting a lot of other good stuff in there. Seedborn Muse is...
And they're pretty. They're very special art, and I think it's wonderful.
Soul Ring is gorgeous, and I wish I had a foil one to go in my green deck, but I can wish as much as I want.
But you'll see it on the secondary market, right?
Maybe.
I'm sure you'll see at least one foil.
But given the
Excuse me.
rarity of them, how much are they going to cost? And that's
Anything. I mean, how much is
I
a
mean, at the
foil
end of the
soul ring
day,
now? $100
no, you can get the Grand Prix promo soul ring for I think 30-ish.
foil.
Yeah,
Really?
we got one in the case.
Damn, I might have to get it.
You should. We've got the box because there were no Grand Prix this year from COVID. Star City offered to people to buy essentially Grand Prix in a box where you get all the promos, you get a play mat, and we at the store ordered a bunch of them to market to Commander players.
Oh, smart. Definitely have to come down and get one then. I mean, it's a good value.
Oh yeah, it's like I think it's a 110 for the whole kit.
Yeah,
and
it comes with like 2 play mats or something like that.
It comes with a play mat, a set of sleeves, a deck box,
I know
2 foil full art textless Path to Exiles, 4 non-foil textless Path to Exiles.
Bolts, I think. Isn't like lightning bolt?
It comes
like
with four non-foil textless lightning bolts.
Okay.
It comes with 2 each of the Grand Prix / Magic Fest foil basic lands.
Okay, yeah,
which are really pretty.
Yeah, they have like the fancy wording.
It's got a foil soul ring and a non-foil soul ring. Both of them are the GP exclusive ones. I'm probably missing something in there. My boss will watch this and be like, Sean, what are you doing? Sell it better. I'm like, it should sell itself. We've got some left.
Yeah. I count at least 7 on the shelf.
7 from our initial order.
My Hawkeyes.
I think 30. Yeah, nice. Very nice.
But no, I mean, I think it's wonderful. I like that Magic is finally paying attention to the Commander format.
Oh, God, yes.
I think that's a really big deal at the moment just because, like, it's just played so worldwide. I mean, what was it? Command Zone.
Yep.
Literally had a thing on it the other day, and they showed you a play hall full of hundreds of people playing.
Well, you got to look at Commander the way it's played. First of all, as someone who my primary job as the community coordinator is to keep all the players in the store happy, participating, doing things. And now it's a lot of dancing around COVID, but Commander, which is easily the most popular thing we do, because you can play the most amount of cards with the most amount of people with the least amount of stress. You're not playing hyper serious competitive Magic. I have a deck that's based on fart jokes. Everybody loves playing that deck because every time I play Deathwind, they laugh. Every time I play, Fog, it gets a chuckle, and that's the type of game you're playing. While I personally don't imbibe, I can say without a doubt, Commander is the game where you and 3 of your friends can get a 6-pack of beer and play until 1 o'clock in the morning and have a great time. You cannot do that with Standard. You cannot do that with Modern or Legacy or Vintage.
See, I agree with that. And when I was a young lad, doing tabletop Magic with your buddies and stuff and like 2-on-2s and stuff, those games had the potential to last a while. But at the same time, it would get stale.
It does.
You're just smashing the same cards together and you're just throwing them at the wall and hoping you win. You know what I mean? With this, you have the availability to build this way. Like you said, you got a joke about busting wind and stuff. Like, I know that there's decks out there with all the chairs.
I love chair tribal.
And then what is it? Ladies
Shout out to
Looking
Commander
Left.
Versus.
Like, I think stuff like that is nifty. I see nothing wrong with that.
You can literally do anything you want with the Commander format. Anything you want.
And that's cool. And I think a lot of people, take that for granted.
They do.
I think it's unfortunate, but the game can be played in so many different ways, yet people always immediately go to CEDH. They immediately go to...
Not my cup of tea, personally. I have one deck for CEDH.
Sure.
I don't play it very often. It doesn't usually leave my house, but I have one. I want to try things. I want to have new experiences.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I think that's great. But I mean, I don't know. I think people look online too much at like the EVH Rex and everything else. And they just build the top 50 cards. That's it.
You think? I
do. I feel like I play a lot of decks that run the same things. And I think that's a very unfortunate thing, is that it's become so situational to play the same cards. Like, if you're playing the new 4-color Omnath deck, right? And you're not running Azusa, or you're not running Wayward Swordtooth, or you're not running like the big 4 or 5 cards that are land for like Morog or...
Well, I will say that one of the things I've noticed as a person who's keeping tabs on what everybody else is doing in the shop, especially for Commander,
sure,
when these big splashy new legends come out, everybody builds the deck right away because it's the new hotness.
Of course.
So, like, I watched tonight, I saw we had 3 pods of players inside and 1 outside. And as they all cycled through decks, I think I saw Omnath pop up 8 times.
I have Omnath.
I know you have Omnath.
And I like it, but I don't want to be judged because I don't play this card, and this card in the stereotypical Omnath list. And I think that's silly.
Yeah.
But I also think people judge people way too much in Magic anymore, too. I want to play something fun and I want to have fun. But I don't want to be judged because I'm not playing the $400 card or like all the duels and all the fetches. I think that's a little too much.
I'm not a big fetch land guy, but I'll cop to owning duels and running them in decks.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
that's your prerogative. If you want to buy every duel.
I will say I have not purchased a duel since I bought my Underground Sea was $100.
But that sounds like a valuable thing.
And that was a while back. And I've been playing for so long, I've just had these cards. I don't go out. I don't like spending a lot of money on a card.
There's nothing wrong with that. I feel
like that's going to become our show's motto is there's nothing wrong with that.
That's true. Oh, it's true. Because you can. It's a hobby.
Yeah.
If you want to spend $10,000 on your hobby at the end of the month, go for it. I mean, you probably shouldn't.
First.
Yeah, take care of your family.
Buy some groceries.
Get your kid a new toy.
Take your loved ones out on a nice date, that kind of thing.
COVID beware.
Oh, yeah, that's true. The park is a really nice date.
This is also true. So, moving on with that then, there's a new set coming out, Commander Legends.
Oh, finally.
So how do you feel about that, being the guy that collects all the legendaries? Don't you think that's going to hurt your wallet?
My body is ready. That's all I'm going to say. I have never... As a person who collects Magic, I try to buy a box whenever a new set comes out, partly to support my LGS, or in this case, my home base.
That's respect.
And partly just to get the cards, because invariably there's gonna be stuff I want. I don't open packs to get the singles that I want. I open packs because the feeling of opening a pack of cards is fun. For singles, I try to purchase them from my store, or I go to TCG Player and I order from stores in the area.
Sure.
But Commander Legends, or as we've been calling it in our staff meetings, Sean Masters.
How cheesy can you get?
I can get much cheesier. I will say Commander Legends is going to be an amazing set.
Yeah, you think?
I know.
Yeah?
I do. I will go on the record and say this is going to be the best set of all time. And if it's not, I'm going to throw one of my coworkers in the swamp outside the store.
I think it's going to suck.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. You are a jaded person.
I don't want to feel that way, but I feel like a lot of the legendaries are going to not be good. I feel like a lot of the partners, because that's the mechanic we're running in this set.
One of the mechanics. We've had 4 cards spoiled.
No, I know that, but still, that's what I'm saying. Is like I don't think the partner dynamic is going to be as good as you want it to be. And I want them then, if they're going to be doing this, then reprint all the partners that came out.
Oh, they have to do that already.
Because I think it's
those
ridiculous.
Cards are ridiculously expensive. Over quarantine, speculators decided that those cards were cheap to acquire, and now Akiri is $10 when she was a bulk rare before quarantine started. Like, that's the nature of the secondary market. My personal feelings on speculation of cards aside, I think that Commander Legends is going to knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
Because I think it's become increasingly obvious to me that designers at Wizards of the Coast are, at the very least, they know what Commander players like.
What do we like?
What do we like? We like big, flashy cards. We like legendary creatures.
Okay.
And that's what we want. We want big, flashy, legendary creatures, or just really good or interesting legendary creatures. And we want cards that'll slot into the decks pretty well, new cards especially.
Okay.
And we're getting a whole set of that.
See, but I'm a Magic player, and I don't feel that way, though.
Well,
I don't
you're
want
wrong, and I hate you.
big and flashy. I want support.
Okay.
I want new things, don't get me wrong, but I want to see more support for a lot of the lesser tribes. Like, I know Rogue's just got a little bit of a boost.
Rogue's got a lot of a boost.
Yeah.
Have you played with that Anawan deck?
No,
yet?
of course I have. I have
Okay.
an Anawan deck because I just like Mill. I think Mill's superior.
Mill is sweet.
But I just want to see more support stuff. I want to see more utility lands. I want to see more things that have interaction that isn't like one mechanic specific.
Okay.
I want to see cool things.
Well, what's a tribe you want to see supported in Commander
I
Legends?
want to see more fairies.
Fairies? Okay.
I want to see stronger fairies.
But then you just got a Layla.
Yeah.
Like, you got a Layla like 6 months ago.
In a specific brawl deck that I'd have to go out and buy for $60.
Weren't you just crowing about how you could go out and buy the singles from the decks that you wanted?
I can.
Yeah, do you know how much a Layla costs?
How much?
It's like $5. I think I have 2 at home. You want one?
I might.
I got you.
I do. But then at the same time, I'm building the same deck. Now I'm just
building... No, you're not.
I'm building Esper enchantments and artifacts.
Okay, but you could pick a specific one. Like, I saw a really interesting one the other day where it was Esper Auras.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that kind of like, just Voltroning Esper?
A little bit.
But I want something goofy. I want something weird.
Okay.
Like, give me more OCOMs. See, that's what I like. I like the stuff like that, like Battle Bonds.
Yeah.
And this is where I guess my issue. I want it to be put to bed that way.
Okay.
I love the December set because the December set is usually really goofy, fun, and out there. We got Battle Bond in like that time period. So yeah. I'm hoping Commanders.
Well, this is that set,
and that's what I'm hoping. So I want something very fun and wonderful, but I'm expecting swamp water.
I mean, I guess that's a guaranteed way that you won't have your feelings hurt. I just think that's negative.
That's fair.
I like to be cautiously optimistic when it comes to Magic releases. Sure. I was very hesitant about Zendikar Zendikar Rising when the car, even during the take-home pre-release event that we ran. As I was flipping through the cards, I'm like, I don't know, especially with these double-faced cards where like one side is a murder, the other side is a land. Yeah. But then you play the card and you're like, wow, I can cut a swamp from my deck to play a kill spell, and I don't actually lose tempo.
No,
it's amazing.
For Commander, I think that's wonderful.
Yes.
I think more things like that. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want some more goofy stuff like that.
Well, we don't know what's coming.
No, I knew that, but that's where my anxiety comes from.
And I think the anxiety is not misplaced necessarily. Sure. I think you're fine to be anxious about it.
Yeah.
I don't want this set to flop either. I have put a lot of verbal skin in the game in that I'm hyping this set up. Big deal to my customers. I mean, you could ask my wife and my daughters at home, my wife and my kids, and they could tell you what Commander Legends are because I won't shut up.
And that's good. And spread the word of mouth. I think it's very much so important that...
But then if it flops, my word becomes like, oh, that's that guy.
True.
That was talking about...
Well, then do you also think that with this new set, the prices on the secondary market are going to tank nearly as much as they did for this past Zendikar Rising set? Because Zendikar Rising came out strong. And within the first 2 or 3 days, Omnath was sitting at $30 to $60. And then he went down to a measly 20 to 15 in that range.
20-ish. Here's the thing with Zendikar Rising. And fetch lands are a hell of a drug.
Sure.
People that are into more competitive versions of Magic and people that are investment speculators, they want their fetch lands. And
sure. So
every box, extra boxes are getting open.
Sure.
Extra set boosters are getting open. And more importantly, collector's boosters are getting opened like crazy.
But supply and demand.
There is a ton of supply.
But that's my issue, is that the supply and demand that we're seeing, correct? Mm-hmm. It's not reflecting the numbers that they're putting out. So they're telling us at this store, the allocation of rising boxes, let's say, hypothetically, right? Mm-hmm. 30 boxes, 30 cases, 6 boxes, whatever, random number. Boom, 30, 60, done. And you guys sell all of those out, right? Yeah. But everything else that's been coming out is at a quarter's worth, like double masters. How is it possible that WotC was able to put out X amount for Zendikar Rising of all sets and put out nothing for Double Masters. Nothing for this Commander set green. Nothing for anything else they're putting out.
It's a choice.
So I think that's ridiculous.
I 100% agree.
So they're creating...
Look at Jumpstart.
No, of course. That's what I'm saying. So they're creating their own supply and demand for what they dictate.
I agree and disagree. I'm going to say right now, you're right. They released too few Commander Collection greens into the wild. There should have been more Double Masters. But sets like Jumpstart, which were supposed to be full printings, print to demand, the printing and then the further distribution of them past printing.
They flopped it, correct?
No, they didn't flop it. COVID flopped it.
But they knew, right, months in advance. I was actually literally just talking about this. All right, so check it out. Ikoria came out, right?
Yes.
Everybody and their mom got Ikoria. Everybody and their mom got the Commander decks. They got their Godzilla cards. They got the whole nine, correct?
No.
Really? Well, at least where I'm living, everybody out there got Ikoria and some.
Everybody got them, but Ikoria was towards the beginning. COVID quarantine in our region started when Mystery Boosters came out. I very vividly remember. I came to the building, and it was the last day before anything happened.
And
it was that Friday.
Is late March, correct?
It was in March, and Mystery Boosters had just come in for the first time.
I remember.
And I bought a ton of it because I love Mystery Boosters. And then I thought to myself, this may be the last Magic product I buy for a hot minute. And then I got home, and my wife was like, the governor has shut down the state. Okay. All the businesses are closed.
Ikoria came out soon after.
Around that, yeah. There was no Ikoria pre-release. It was take-home.
No, that's what I'm saying. So
and there were no Ikoria drafts, no Ikoria FNMs, except what was available online.
Yeah.
So what you'll see with supply and demand for that set is the cards that are, I guess, ubiquitous, the Triomes, especially the Triomes. I'm going to say, let's just stick with them. I think those are the most impactful cards from Ikoria.
I agree.
Those cards command a good price point for a set that is still in standard and still in theory being opened. I can go to my distribution websites and we can order a box or two of Ikoria.
Correct.
The reason why is because Ikoria was printed and ready to move just before COVID hit.
No, I understand
Sets past that up to this point have been severely impacted because these printing companies, these shipping companies, these packaging companies, and even the distribution warehouses are playing catch up. And they're doing it frantically. I feel like they're just now getting their head back together, but our Zendikar allocation was cut into 3 waves.
Yeah.
And that's a pain in the butt, but it's not as bad as, say, the set previous to this where we just could not get.
True, yeah.
And I'm noticing especially some of the other stuff is finally starting to trickle in. People are finally getting their secret layers that had been backlogged.
I did hear about that.
Yeah.
Like months and stuff.
I think that these companies are playing catch up, but they're not being as transparent as they should be, and they're just hoping players will understand.
Well, see, that's what's confusing me is I know that in these shops, I've seen like on those like how it's made and things like that. It only takes around about 30 people in a shop just to have it going. You know what I mean? Like somebody's not there cutting. It's all done by machines. It's all done by people running machines.
Correct.
And that's, I guess, where I get caught up is it because they're doing it overseas now? I know they're making a lot of cards in Japan at the moment with packaging and stuff.
Different states and different countries and different regions have different policies. So you'll find that, let's say, and I'm throwing metaphors at you. Let's say Wizards of the Coast is printing their cards in Canada.
Got it.
The Prime Minister of Canada comes out and says, country's closed. You can't go, unless your job is essential, you can't go to work.
Sure.
You cannot go operate the machine.
So then in our states, right, in the United States, if there's a shop, let's say in Denver, right, whatever, and in Denver they're producing cards, all this stuff, but they're trying to increase, like, I guess, the workflow and everything. Yeah. I just don't see how it couldn't work at that point.
I mean, I agree that it could work, but what I think the problem is...
But weren't we making all of our cards in America before this?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure we are.
Tune in next week, and we'll try to answer that question.
That's true. I do want to actually know that now. But I'm like 30% sure that, like, we were producing cards in the States at warehouses, wherever they may be.
Well, it would be a printing company.
No, of course. That's what I'm saying.
Then it gets packaged, and then it gets shipped to distribution warehouses, like our distributor and our primary Magic distributor, Peach State Hobbies. They have multiple warehouses across the country, but ours is based in up north, Cranberry, I think. Cranberry, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
So, like, to the point where my boss can just drive there and pick up stuff that he wants. But with different states having different rules and different states having different rules about, people driving in.
Yeah, no, I got you.
And the problem is, I think most of the country, all of the country, is not on the same page.
No, of course. Then I think WotC should probably get on it then.
Well, what can WotC do?
Well, they can take all that distribution, right? And they can do all the.
They just gave up all that shit, though.
Oh, this is true.
They gave when MSRP died, WotC gave up all of that stuff. They don't want to do that anymore because, quite frankly, it's less of a headache.
I take it back.
This way.
I don't know anything.
Oh.
No, I don't know. I still think then, if at the end of the day, if they can make it work and they can make it feasible, then they should keep it in the States, bring it to a specific area, and just bang it out.
It'd be nice.
I think that would do them all.
I mean, you and I not having access to their board meetings, who knows what the hell they're doing. I'm still waiting on my next wave of Zendikar product. Hopefully I'll get some cool stuff to sell people. I can tell you the card singles have been flowing in and out of the store like crazy, and I'm fine with that.
I guess that's where I'm still very confused about that, is I guess just the sheer number of Zendikar that was open really hurt the value for the set. Not that it's a bad thing. I think that makes it more feasible.
It makes
for
it more
everyone
accessible.
Else. Hell yeah, I agree.
I can go out and buy a copy of, again, one of the legendary creatures. I'm going to pick one, Yasharn, the pig.
Yeah.
I can buy a copy of that card from a bulk box, a foil copy of that card from a bulk box, or even
$1-2.
Yeah, $1-2. It's not going to break the bank. And I'm fine with that. I think it's better because
I appreciate that. I think that makes it much more accessible for everybody.
The players who want a foil Scalding Tarn are going to open an entire box of collector's boosters, and they'll get it, and they don't care because that's like a $300 card, and they're happy, and they got what they wanted.
Everything else.
Everything else, they dump it.
Yeah.
And if everybody is doing the same thing, these cards are just like piling in, and then the players who really want Yasharn, the pig, they can play Yasharn.
This is true.
And it's not going to hurt them to build it.
No, I think that's good. I think that definitely helps the game on the financial side of it. I just hope it doesn't ruin the integrity game from the higher ups down. I think that's where a lot of people are with The Walking Dead and stuff. And I get it. I can completely see why. If you got money, buy it. You got that product, it's going to sell for a lot in the secondary market. But it hurts the little guy who wants to get in the game, wants to stay relevant and competitive, and be able to examine
I'll say flat out, and while I don't like saying this, I don't like that this is the way this is. If you want to play at the most competitive levels of Magic, you have to be ready because that's expensive and difficult.
It's true, but I don't think people tell you that when you get into it.
I will tell you every time. If you want to hang out with me and play Commander with me and Joe and just goof off and talk wrestling and play Magic and just goof off, you can buy a $20 Commander Precon or one of the $40 Commander Precons from previous years, and that is all you need. And at the end of the game, whether you've won or lost, a good opponent, a good group is going to say, here is a couple copies of Kodama's Reach Rampant Growth. Here are some more efficient cards you can put in your deck, and that's how everybody should start playing. Commander.
Anybody who does the Commander's Quarters, anybody who's here's a $10 add-on to a deck.
Yeah.
Look at it. Take them up.
No,
There's nothing wrong with that. For $10, you want to make your deck go from a level 4, 5, 6 to 6, 7, 8. And all it takes is $10. Do it.
Yeah.
And if they're different, who cares?
Store bulk boxes are great for that. For
it's true. You're helping yourself. You're helping your local game store out.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No, and it just helps the cycle, because again, if you're not helping yourself to make your decks better or helping your local game store, you're not going to be able to do this. And when sanctioned events open back up in December with the Commander set, here's
Fingers
hoping,
crossed.
Then everything will start to move back into the right direction. I think that'll definitely be a big help for everyone.
I'm definitely really hoping, because as the event coordinator, as the community manager for this store, I would really like to do my job to the fullest.
Yeah.
Being able to only keep 8 to 10 people in the store at a time and having to ask other people to play outside, it breaks my heart sometimes. Because one of the weird things about this job is these people are my friends too. I've been to your home, pet your dog. People have been to my home, played with my kids. I officiated a wedding for some customers several years back. That's how close the relationship gets between people in this industry because we're friends.
Yeah, it's a community.
And it's
a
hard
good
for me to
community.
sit there and tell these people, like, you have to play outside. Like, you
It's
go to the
unfortunate.
kids' table.
Yeah.
But I want us all to be healthy. I want that more.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true. And it's a shame that people have to stifle themselves in this time period, and it's no good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, if you still gather and you're safe and you wear your masks and you're completely sanitizing and you're taking care of everything.
I can tell you this place gets sanitized so much. My wife hates when I come home and my hands smell like bleach, but what are you going to do?
But
I'd rather have my hands smell like bleach to have that peace of mind you're talking about.
It's true. It's safe. It's just very much safe. But look, just so you guys know, we will be doing in the near future, we'll start doing some deck techs. Sean will be showing off his decks and just giving some people ideas.
I have 34 of them.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And
that's
I changed them almost weekly. You know what? It was a very boring quarantine, and I wanted to do one of every color, and then I liked the fart deck, so I have 2 jump decks.
But that's fair. You had something to do.
Yep.
But yeah, we will, again, like I said, we'll be doing deck techs. We'll be doing, hopefully we'll get some live streams going for everybody.
We're working with our tech guy. Here at Greg's Games, we like to affectionately say all of our staff is a different Greg. So I'm working with technology Greg to get that working, and we can stream actual Commander games for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be fun. And then when we start traveling to other shops, like put a comment down below. Let us know where your shop is. We'll take a look at it.
Absolutely.
Get in touch with some of the higher ups in your shop, and then we'll maybe come visit you. We also want to be able to, if we do record games in a shop, we want to record games with you. So like Sean or I will play a game with 3 other people from your shop, like whether it be your best players, your worst players, or just your goofy friends or whatever. Yep. We definitely want to play with everybody because it's a community. And what's the point of having a community if you're not all connected?
It's called The Gathering. We're not just gathering dust.
Yeah, we are very social.
You are?
No, so we are very social. We, as a community, are social. They literally say that we have a social contract when we play the game Commander.
That's fair.
This is fair.
Okay.
But yeah, that wraps up our first episode for you guys tonight. And
I only threw up once. Good editing, by the way.
I did not throw up at all. I can't.
Okay.
And don't forget, guys, don't be afraid to scoop at sorcery speed.
It's perfectly fair.
That's it.
Very easy.
Yeah, it was.
I did not.
That went pretty well.
It's literally just a conversation.
How long was it? How long did we go? 11:40. That's not bad.
That makes me want to guest star on the next